On Draw Stuff Real Easy today, we are going to draw a Thanksgiving cornucopia, but let's not talk about it. Let's do it. We're going to plan in pencil, draw it in ink, erase the pencil, then do all the fiddly bits and shading that make the drawing look great. You'll be needing a pen, a pencil and an eraser. To draw a cornucopia, let's put a line down the middle where we want the whole thing to start, and then tilt another one. It's not quite 45 degrees, and we're going to build an ellipse around that line and that angle. So we've got an ellipse and it's sort of leaning over at that angle. We want sort of another ellipse on the inside, and then to make the basket, come around the ellipse to about there, and we're going to draw what is pretty much like a quarter circle. And then we'll come around a little bit there, and then we're going to come down to there. And this could maybe come a little bit more to there. Now we need to place a pumpkin in there to start off with. So let's draw a circle, and that's just kind of sitting inside the mouth of the cornucopia basket. And we're going to put a little stalk in the top of the pumpkin. Then we need to build a little life study of fruit and things in front of the pumpkin. So I'm going to start off with a pear. So that's going to be a sort of nice curve like that, which is then going to sort of curve into a shape like that. And then we'll have let's have an apple there, and that's going to have the stalk and the stalk. And here we're going to have like a bunch of grapes. So this is going to be a kind of a triangle-y shape of bunch of grapes. And I think here I'm going to have an ear of corn sticking out, so it's coming out like that, and then you've got the kernels, the niblets inside like that. And what else should we have? What about one of those cool gourds that kind of come around like that, don't they? They have a little pumpkin thingy like that on the top, and then they're all kind of knobbly on the edges like that. They're quite fun. I'm going to have another ear of corn, I think, just sticking out there. And we could have some more grapes hanging over there. What about some kind of nuts, things like that? And maybe a couple of tomatoes. Tomatoes! This is Thanksgiving, isn't it? You say tomato, I say tomato. Tomato! Because I'm British. Join me on Patreon for images, help sheets and a whole lot more. While I'm doing this, I could wish you a happy Thanksgiving, but then, being British, we don't celebrate Thanksgiving because it's kind of, the founding fathers having got away from Britain. Now, what I'm going to do is draw the tomatoes, because these are the nearest things to us. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. And then the tomato, a little stalk. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are the kind of sepals on the stalk like that. And then, let's draw let's make a little kind of a little point on the end there. We'll make these like hazelnuts or something like that, and that'll just sort of come in there like that. When you're drawing something like this, you really want to think about what is in the front and draw that bit first. Okay, so I think we're going to have the apple next. So I'm going to draw the stalk, and there's the kind of bit the stalk goes into, and there's the apple, so that then we can have the pear. Oh, I made that a slightly strange shape. Sometimes you get them that kind of weird shape, don't you, like that? And I'm going to give that a few little sort of pear spots as well. And now we're going to have all these grapes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a whole series of sort of grape shapes. Some of these will be hidden behind the pear, and try and get these to sort of touch every now and then, touch the sides like that. And then this is going to be kind of, the angle will change slightly as you come to be resting on the ground like that. They start looking a bit weird, don't they? and some of them are going to be kind of hidden behind in there, some hidden behind there, and then we'll maybe have a little stalk bear holding all of those in. And what we can do is to sort of all those little bits in between, you could just spend your time just filling them in. Yeah, that should do it. We've got a sheaf and ear of corn, and we'll have that sort of coming around like that, and that's the husky bit on the outside, so I'm going to give that a bit of kind of texture like that. And then we want to draw the teeth on the inside, so I'm just giving that a bit of a curve, then that can come straight, and then maybe it can curve up around there, and we can sort of draw, I keep wanting to call them teeth, the niblets, the kernels. And let's draw this funny little thing with a gourd like that, and then that's going to come down, and then you can just let that disappear into dots like that, and then this is going to be slightly curved around the edge. They're always very attractive, these kind of gourds, aren't they? And we can put some of that kind of gourd kind of pattern that you get like that coming around there, and then that will just be underneath. And again, I think we're going to have another one of these corns, aren't we? So we can just do the same thing like that again, and we could have a few more nuts and things just kind of scattered around there. And what we could do is just do this kind of blobby like that with a line. Maybe you want to put a line in first, so you've got an angle to go at. Put a line, and then kind of blobby line around it. Maybe one there. And these can be kind of oak leaves, which are just sort of scattered around to make it look prettier. We could have another one around there. And then we can have more grapes in behind here. So draw these oval grape shapes. Now we can start on the cornucopia part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some curves like that, and then 1, 2, 3, and then back the other way. 1, 2, 3, maybe 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to get lost here, and you're going to get lost. But don't worry, it'll all sort of come together. So as long as we do this kind of plaiting kind of opposite way around, and you can just kind of draw around the outsides there. That's enough for the moment, so we can draw in the pumpkin there, and that's going to come straight out like that. These kind of lines, they want to come right out before they come down, so they'll be coming out like that. Coming right down, and then down, and then down, like that. There's your pumpkin, and then we can carry on with this. That angle, that angle, that angle, and then we can kind of draw the curves around the outside. This is a basket, so we need to make it look kind of crinkly on the outside, as a basket would, like that. And you might like to just plan in here and get sort of, say, I'm going to do 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, erasing the one down the middle. When you draw these lines, don't press hard, because you want to erase them later, and if you press too hard you won't be able to get rid of them ever again. There was that. I can't. Anyway. Now what we're going to do is just draw a broken wiggly lines. You don't need to draw a straight line. If you draw a straight line, it'll just kind of look a bit odd, because this is a kind of a natural, organic, baskety kind of thing. And another one there. Now what people will tend to want to do is to have the kind of the basket like that, and these the kind of the rods up the middle, and I think what you instinctively want to do is to fill in those spaces, and that's just not right. You need to cross over with a curve, cross over the line, because that's the way basket weaving works. And again, we can do the same here, and you've got to kind of change the angle as well of your lines and curves as you're going around. And the curves want to kind of cross over each other like that. And then here we're going to want a little bit more, just sort of coming around the corner of the edge. And here we could do again, so these curves want to join the curves on either side. Again, they're joining along here, as you can see, and then we want these to join along there. On the inside, we can have the same sort of thing happening, and they're going to be going kind of like that, and in there. And what we want to do is to cross hatch over those to make that look really dark inside, get some shadow in there. When you are absolutely sure that the ink is dry, then you can erase those pencil lines without smudging them all over the place, especially if you didn't press too hard. I'm going to draw a kind of a line like that for shading. And what you want to do is to draw these lines, try and make them nice and equal. And these can go over the leaves and under the nuts and the tomatoes like that as well, and underneath the grapes a bit as well, and maybe a bit under there, and maybe we could make that quite dark in there and have a bit of shading like that. And if it's still not quite feeling dark enough, then you can cross hatch it. So the first one was called hatching, this is called cross hatching because you've done the hatching and now you're crossing over it. And you might want to just make it a bit darker all around underneath there with a little bit of extra help in the cross hatching. You're going to need a little bit of shade coming up around the side of the cornucopia, so I'm just going to not right to the edge, I'm just going to put a little line of lines hatching going up there like that, which gives a bit of a curve to the thing. And we could maybe add a little bit underneath there, and this probably wants to be a bit darker. Once you start hatching, you can never stop, that's the problem. So we're going to put a little bit here in the pumpkin as well, like that, and maybe a bit in there. And then with the grapes, I'm just going to put these little curves in there which will act as shading to give it a bit of sort of roundness to the grapes. So it's just a little curve on the one side. I think that can have a little bit of darkness up there. This can certainly be made a bit darker because you might not want to colour it in, so you want to, if you want it black and white, you need this kind of shade. We can have a little bit of shade there and a little bit of shade there and shade underneath. And these are going to be the nuts, aren't they? So they can just be shaded like that. Tomatoes, they're going to want a little bit of shininess, and we'll put some shade in around there, and these nuts will need some shade there. The apple will need some shade in there, and we might just put some little kind of appley marks in there. Then all you need to do is to add some fantastic autumn and fall colours, and there you are, a Thanksgiving cornucopia. And thank you for watching, and click down there on that subscribe button and make sure you're subscribed to Draw Stuff Real Easy, and ring the bell to make sure you get notifications every week of brand new videos. Thanks for watching, and in the meantime, keep drawing, practice, and I'll see you next time. You take care now. Bye bye.